Alright, welcome back to another video on building multi-purpose Laravel and Livewire application. And in this video I will show you the better approach or better way of implementing Datepicker and timepicker. So let's get started. First, let's go to create appointment form.blade.php file and let's dive into it. Let's dive into the source code over here and let's see what is going on. So in the appointment time, if we go to input field, here we don't see any name attributes like this or wire specific like wire modal, something like this, and this is working, and this seems like a magic if someone says through our code. So actually we are writing JavaScript code in our main layouts file called app.blade.php file, so which is not a good idea. So let's cut this code from here and paste in our create appointment form. Okay, so let me cut from here and paste it over here. So before pasting it, let's create a stack on our main layouts and give it a name called, let's say, JS for JavaScript, and then we can push to that stack using push directory, and the name of the stack is JS, and push, and we can paste the code over here. So now let's indent it, and it should work as before. If I refresh the page, yeah, everything is working. And if someone dive into our code, then they will know what is going on. They will exactly see this JavaScript code and know. And our main layouts is also a little bit cleaner. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now what if our client told us to create appointment start time and appointment end time? What we will be doing, simply we'll be just copying and pasting the same code over and over again. Like the hacky way will be to just copy this, paste it over here, and just change this name to appointment end time, and we'll be changing the JavaScript code as well. We'll be copying this code and we'll be pasting over here, and we'll be changing the ID field ID as well, right? And we will make that working. But actually this is not a good idea, as we are repeating the same code over and over again. So to fix this, let's use Laravel Components. Okay, to create a component we need to go to resources, views, and then we need to add a new folder called components, and inside of this folder we can create a new file, let's say timepicker.blade.php. okay, so let's write something over here, and to use this component we can simply do, let's go over here and let's do X, and the name of the component is timepicker. Okay, now if we refresh the page, and it is working perfect. So now let's work on this component. Okay, so now let's go to timepicker.blade.php file, and then let me remove it, and let's go to this side, as we will be using this input field without any icon over here, right? We're using this one. So let me copy this input field and then paste in our component file timepicker.blade.php. okay, so let me remove this div, and now let me refresh the page, and this is working perfectly fine, as we have already added the JavaScript for that plugin. Okay, here we see Datepicker, date as well as time, so we need to format it, and we see the calendars. Instead of calendar we need to so timepicker, right? So to do this we need to add JavaScript, so let me copy this JavaScript from here and paste it over here, right? Let's indent it, and then let's over here let's do format, and for timepicker we need to do LT, right? Now let me refresh the page, and it is not working, as we are not pushing this script to our stack. So to push, we need to do push, and the stack name is js and push. Okay, and let me refresh the page again, and this is working perfectly fine, right? So now we have created this timepicker component. So let me go to this this one, and then let me copy this form input. Okay, input group. Okay, let me copy, and then let me paste it over here. Let's indent it, and now let's refresh the page. Yes, so we can use this component inside over here. So to do this, we just simply remove it from here, and we can cut and then paste it, right? So now let me refresh the page, and this is working perfectly fine. And instead of this envelope, let's change that to clock. Yep, and this design is not working, so let's create a div with the class of row, and inside that let's create another div with the class of call md6, and again let's create a div with the class of form group, and inside this one let me cut from here and paste it. Okay, let's indent it, and let's see if this works. This is still not working. Let's go to timepicker.blade.php file, and let's remove this extra div, and this is working perfect. Yep. Okay, now if we change this input and click on save, so before saving, let me go to create appointment form, and over here let's dive down this state, and now let me refresh the page, change it, and then click on save. Yeah, we are not receiving any input, right? So we need to fix this. So let me go to create appointment form, and let's do wire modal equals to state dot appointment start time. And now if I refresh the page and change it and click on save, it will still not work. And if I inspect it and over here, if I go over here, we don't see any wire modal attribute over here, right? So to fix this, we need to first let's go to timepicker component, and let's indent it. And we need to do attributes over here. We need to write attributes so that we will have access to wire model. Let me refresh the page. Now here we see wire model, and the value is stated appointment start time. Okay, perfect. But if I click over here and click on save, it is still not working, right? It is still not working. So we need to fix this. So let me go to create appointment form. Here wire model just listen for the input event, and we are using external plugin, so this is not firing any input event, right? So if I inspect it and go to network tab, and let's see if it is not firing any AJAX request as well. But if I write anything, then it is sending the AJAX request, as it is listening to the input event, right? So let's listen for the change event and fire the input event. so that Livewire can handle other stuffs. So over here let's do on change, and for now let's do alert and display high. Okay, so this plugin is listening for the change event, right? Yeah, and on change we can do fire another event. To fire another event, let's this dispatch event, new input event. Let's fire the input event. The name is input. Okay, here on changing that timepicker, we are firing new input event so that Livewire can listen for that input event and do other steps, and it will update state dot appointment start time value. Okay, so let's see if this works. If I change, yeah, seems like it is working, and if I click on save, and we receive that value. Perfect. But here if I click on again, and that is disappearing sometime, so that is because of, I think, wire model. So let's use wire model to defer. Okay, so that if we use wire model to defer, it will not send any AJAX request to the server unless we click on the save button. If we go to network tab, and if we make any changes, it is not firing an AJAX request. If we click on save, then it is sending one AJAX request. Perfect. Okay, now let's add label over here. So let me go to create appointment form, and over here let's add label for appointment start time, appointment start time. Okay, yes. Now another one for the appointment end time. So let me copy this and then paste it. Let's change this one to appointment end time, and then over here end time, right? If I refresh the page again and click over here, but this is not working, right? This is not working because we are using the same ID for these two input field, right? If we go to timepicker component, then we are just using the same ID called Datepicker 5. So we need to make this ID dynamic, right? So let me go to create appointment form, then we can pass ID from here. Let's pass ID called appointment start time for this one, and for this one let's do appointment end time. Perfect. And let me go to timepicker component, and we can do props, and over here we can inside of this array we can write ID. By doing this, we will have access to the ID as a variable. So we can do something. Let's dump the ID and see. Yes, here we see appointment start time, and here we see appointment end time, as we are receiving that attribute value available over here using ID variable. Okay, so instead of using this one, we can make this dynamic and simply by adding the ID as a variable. Okay, so now this two should work. This one is working and this one is also working, and if I click on save, yeah, we are receiving that two value, appointment start time and appointment end time. Perfect. Okay, now let's go to create appointment form and let's refactor this code to follow the current approach, right? So over here, let's create another component for Datepicker. So to do this, we can simply copy the timepicker code and then let me create a new file for Datepicker, right? And then paste it, and over here we need to format to L. Okay, so now if we need Datepicker, then we can simply do, let me go over here and let's change this to Datepicker, and if I click, yeah, we get that Datepicker. Perfect. So let me do Ctrl Z and let me comment this code for now, and let me copy it and paste it, and we will be creating the same like date and appointment time. So over here, let's do instead appointment start time, let's say appointment date, and this will be the appointment, I think, date, and the ID is, let's say, appointment date. Okay, let me refresh it. Yep, and we need to use Datepicker instead of timepicker. Datepicker component. Okay, yes, I think we already have that ID, so it is not showing calendar icon. So first of all, let me remove everything, this one. Okay, yes, and let's remove the JavaScript code as well. We don't need this one, we don't need anything with this one, right? Okay, now let me refresh the page again. Yes, and let's change this icon. Yes, now we have the calendar. Okay, perfect. And for the appointment time, instead appointment end time, let's do appointment time and state dot time appointment time. Okay, and this timepicker is working. So let me go to database and see date and time. Perfect. Let me remove everything for now. Let's see if everything is working. Here we receive the time, date and client ID and note as well. Currently we are dying DOM, so let me remove it and then try again to save. Let me refresh the page again and try once. Click on save. Yes, seems like the data got saved and we successfully refactored the code. And if we go to create appointment and we don't see any JavaScript that we have written previously, so this seems more cleaner and reusable as well. So I hope you like this approach. Okay, now if client told us to add new field for appointment end time, then we can simply copy this and change appointment time to appointment end time, and this wire model the default state time to appointment end time, and this will work perfectly fine, right? Also, we don't need to worry about any JavaScript code. So using this component approach, we can add a logic related to timepicker or datepicker in our one single component file. So this increases reusability as well as easy to write the code. So I hope you like this approach and you like this video as well. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel, as I will be uploading the videos like this. Till then, have a great time and I will see you in the next video.